welcome. You're watching the Newshour Agenda, India's most loved primetime show at 10. I'm Padmaja Joshi. Today what we saw across our country was truly distressing, or at least it should have been for every right-thinking citizen of India. Because these were scenes of people who had decided that they would teach India a lesson. A bunch of radicalized, brainwashed people who gave calls for murder on the streets of our country without even the tiniest bit of fear of the law. Of people who thought that they are bigger than India's laws, bigger than our constitution, bigger than even our secularism. In the name of hurt sentiments, they bayed for the blood of Indians. In the name of protest, they pelted stones, beat up and burnt. And as a cover for this naked hate, they used the excuse of their hurt at Nupur Sharma's comments. Nupur Sharma? This is not about Nupur Sharma anymore. In any country, a crime is met with a police case. If you are hurt, you go to the police. You maybe ask for an apology. Remember, in the case of Nupur Sharma, both have been offered. She's even been suspended by her party to boot. But whether she is guilty or not will not be decided by a mob on a street. A mob that will not stop at Nupur Sharma. Once it tastes blood, it will want more. And if you want to know what a mob is capable of, a mob that has been emboldened by the silence and the cowardice of a few, I want at the beginning for you to hear this man in Ranchi and tell me if you do not feel a chill going down your spine today.
देखिए देखिए पत्थर चला रहा देखिए देखिए आप इधर आ जाइए छिप जाइए इधर आ जाइए सर पत्थर चल रहा है सर हमको कवर में लगा मेरा मोबाइल टूट गया सर जल्दी से सर देखिए अभी पत्थर चला रहा है सर फोर्स भेज दीजिए
What did this man pleading for mercy in Ranchi have anything to do with Nupur Sharma? What did policemen who were left bleeding have to do anything with Nupur Sharma? What did people whose shops were looted have anything to do with Nupur Sharma? What does any of this have to do with Nupur Sharma? And do you think this will stop with Nupur Sharma? You think hurt sentiments allow for beheading calls being given for Nupur Sharma across at least 6 cities? You think this is what a democratic protest looks like? When did our constitutional rights allow for the effigy of a young woman to be strung up on a pole in a busy marketplace and not one person stepped in? Not one person stopped it. No one objected. Why? Because they know they will always find defenders, protectors, clean chit givers. Those people who still don't have the guts to call a spade and to say that fundamentalists are using an excuse of fundamental rights to foist their fundamentalism on the country, and this will not be tolerated.
इस्लाम जो है वो अमन का मजहब है, इस्लाम जो है वो शांति का मजहब है। यकीनन लोगों के अंदर गुस्सा है, हम भी ये मांगनी करते हैं कि नुपुर शर्मा को फांसी की सजा मिलनी चाहिए करके, वरना अगर उसे आसानी से छोड़ दिया गया तो उसका कोई अंत ही नहीं रहेगा। हम तो ये कह रहे हैं किसी भी जाति, किसी भी धर्म, किसी भी धार्मिक गुरु, किसी भी हमारे नबी के खिलाफ अगर कोई बोलता है तो ऐसा कानून लाया जाए कि उसके ऊपर सख्त कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए, फौरन कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए। नहीं हो रही है, इस वजह से सिर्फ पार्टी से निकालना ये कार्रवाई है।
Not only in Delhi, in Aligarh, in Prayagraj, in Kanpur, everywhere it's happening. But government of India is sleeping. I want to say very clearly, if government of India wants to save their skin, come out. Say no, they have not committed anything wrong. And if you want to arrest, you arrest both of them. And strict action should be taken.
नहीं तो अब वो स्टेटमेंट आप उसको कह रहे हैं तो उसके रिएक्शन में ही तो कह रहे हैं वो क्या हमारे नबी की शान में गुस्ताखी की है और फिर इसके बावजूद नो एक्शन? तो इसलिए अब ये एक्शन कोई नहीं है कि सब सस्पेंड कर दिया, बाहर निकाल दिया पार्टी से।
आप चाहते कानूनी कार्रवाई जल्द से जल्द
हो और इंशाल्लाह फिर ये हालात नॉर्मल हो जाएंगे।
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Tushar Gupta, senior editor at Swaraj, joins us along with activist Sushil Pandit, Hamza Masood, political activist, Khaliqur Rahman, also a political activist, and advocate Talha Amir Rashadi, who is the spokesperson of the Rashtriya Ulema Council. But my first question is to you, Riju Datta, spokesperson of Trinamool Congress, because your state also saw violence today. Widespread violence in Ulub area, in Howrah rural. Why do you think it happened?
Okay, please give me the courtesy of time. First of all, the scenes of violence were seen from only one district, that was Howrah, not entire Bengal, number one. I will start off right by saying that peaceful protest is our constitutional right, but if somebody is pelting stones, causing arson, causing damage, that's a criminal offense. That cannot be condoned in any way, shape or form. But in the same breath, we from the TMC condemn the heinous and atrocious and the derogatory remarks made by the BJP spokesperson. I want to say that BJP created these Frankensteins and now they cannot control them. Their defamatory language has caused India to apologize to foreign countries. Why will India apologize for BJP, madam? And lastly, when we have seen instances in cases of Tejinder Bagga, when he was arrested, court was called at 10 o'clock in the night and then he was relieved from transit remand. So similarly, I will appeal first of all to the people of this nation that it is our nation and we should maintain peace. We should not fall into all these hangamas and we should not break private property because that's a criminal offense. But in the same breath, I will urge the government of India, which is sleeping, to arrest Nupur Sharma immediately, because if you are bothered about her security, she will be safest from Tihar jail anyways. So put her there.
Why did the violence take place in West Bengal?
Like I said, people are upset. You have to understand, it's a very sensitive situation. It started off as a peaceful protest, then, see, in the first instance, you say something and then...
Name me a reason, sir. Why did the violence happen?
I am saying it clearly. BJP has started this trend of mocking and abusing other religions.
I don't want to know about the BJP and its history. Why did the violence happen in West Bengal?
What do you mean, why did the violence happen?
It's a straightforward question. Why did the violence happen in West Bengal?
People were protesting, people demand the arrest of Nupur Sharma. Arrest Nupur Sharma immediately. What is the Prime Minister doing? Not a thing. He tweets for a happy birthday.
So this is blackmail.
Minister. Why can't he? No.
This is blackmail.
No blackmail. No. You cannot.
If you won't arrest, we will burn.
No.
And you condone this.
Padmaja, 1 second. I will just clarify this in the next 10 seconds. I am a staunch Hindu, okay? Every religious scripture, whether it is Quran Sharif, whether it is our Veds, Upanishads, or Bhagavad Gita, or Holy Bible, or Tipitop, everywhere there are miraculous activities that cannot be explained by science because it's a matter of faith. You cannot insult anybody's faith.
Sir, I am not questioning your faith, nor do I want to know of your religious beliefs.
Nobody.
What is the reason for violence happening in West Bengal today?
Listen.
What is the one reason?
What happened throughout the country. Only in certain places.
What is the reason? Because you are the ruling party in West Bengal. What is the reason for people to set police post, police jeep, pelt stones at police, hurl a crude bomb at police? What is the reason? What is the reason?
Again, I'm saying you, protests happened all over the country, but in the district of Howrah, in a certain place, the mob became unruly.
Why?
We have issued section 144 on the national highways and we have stopped cellular service till Monday. So
that is fine. I am not asking what you've done. I am asking why did they do what they did? Why did they set the police on fire?
I am asking you a counter question. Why did the national spokesperson of BJP...
This is not a you question, my question round, sir. My question to you is, why did the mob attack the police? What is the reason?
Again, I'm saying, can you say how a person will react when their faith is insulted? Why did the national spokesperson Nupur Sharma came on Times Now and abused Prophet Muhammad? Why?
So let me ask you this, sir. Since you seem to suggest that a person may react by pelting stones, hurling a crude bomb when their faith is insulted, how should Tushar Sharma react? How should Tushar Gupta react to your Member of Parliament Mahua Moitra calling a shivling like the nuclear reactor at Bark? How should Tushar Gupta react? Should he come on the streets of Bengal? Should he set your party office on fire? Should he start putting stones at you?
No.
What should he do, sir?
One second. It's first of all, it is a very frivolous argument.
Why?
Very frivolous argument.
Why?
Very frivolous argument.
Who are you to decide whose faith is frivolous and how badly somebody gets hurt?
No, 1 second.
How do you decide, sir? How are you to decide?
I am no one to decide.
Are you the ruling Khomeini of religious hurt?
I am nobody.
To decide that, oh, their hurt is valid, but Tushar Gupta's hurt is frivolous. Why?
1 second. I am nobody to decide, Padmaja. The people of India are the people who will decide. The people of India and the entire world decided what Nupur Sharma said was wrong.
Right.
And today they
so if it is wrong,
again I'm saying,
if it is wrong,
violence and arson
if it is wrong, can you set a police post on fire?
Absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong.
So then what led them to set a police post on fire? Except that they think that they can get away with it in the name of hurt. Can hurt feelings allow for crude bombs?
By the same logic, Nupur Sharma also thought that she can be protected by the RSS and the...
But she is not. She is booked. And the funny thing is that Mahua Moitra is not. Nupur Sharma is booked, sir, but Mahua Moitra is not.
No. It is a very frivolous argument.
Why is it frivolous? Why is it frivolous? Tushar Gupta, is it frivolous? Tushar Gupta?
It is a very, very childish argument.
Why?
Very childish argument.
How do you say that? What is childish? Just a second, let's figure this out. What is childish? What is childish?
TMC Padmaja.
Tushar Gupta.
Padmaja, you know what the TMC spokesperson has just told us? That in Bengal, TMC having a vast majority over the BJP, having defeated BJP by a huge margin last year, the same TMC government is so incompetent, is such a failure, that one statement from a Nupur Sharma in Delhi, that they cannot control the law and order in Bengal. The government is such a failure. That's what the TMC spokesperson is confessing.
What happened in Prayagraj?
You know what else the TMC spokesperson is confessing? He's saying my party member. He's saying my party member will call.
Then it happened in UP in.
Sir, I did not interrupt you. I did not interrupt you.
So Yogi Adityanath is incompetent.
I did not interrupt you. Listen up.
I did not followed by Narendra Modi, Amit Shah, and Rajnath Singh.
Listen up.
So they are incompetent.
The TMC spokesperson is also confessing. Padmaja.
But Riju Datta, I think Mahua Moitra is followed by you, despite what she said about the shivling. You follow Mahua Moitra despite what she said about the shivling. Why? You don't think it is hurtful? You don't think that is hurtful? You sit here and say that people can burn, bay for blood and pelt stones and unleash mayhem because their feelings are hurt. And Nupur Sharma is not arrested. Mahua Moitra is not arrested. And people are hurt by what she has said. And who are you to judge, sir, that somebody cannot be hurt by what she said? Who are you to judge?
Who is hurt? You tell me how many FIRs are filed.
That one bunch of people will sit there and file FIR after FIR, and another bunch of people will run crazy on the street, and you will sit here and you will still justify it, despite the fact it is happening in your state, and despite the fact that leave alone the BJP, whose offices have been attacked, your cops are being attacked. Your cops. Policemen who report to your home department are having crude bombs thrust at them. You still cannot step up for a second and say that these people are a bunch of brainwashed radicals, and what they are doing is extra constitutional.
Who have completely, spread hate and violence all over this country.
Padmaja,
Okay.
First, ask the Prime Minister.
Okay,
you know what this TMC
just hold on for a
spokesperson
second.
says?
So, Home
Look
Minister
at the
has spread hate and violence,
Padmaja.
but people are baying for the blood of Nupur Sharma because Amit Shah has made them hateful.
No, why is Nupur Sharma not arrested in all these 10 days? Tell me, what is taking so long? Just
Why
ask
is
them.
Mahua Moitra not arrested?
How many FIRs are filed? Who is
Why is Mahua Moitra not arrested? Apples and apples,
so
sir.
hurt, why don't you
Apples
go
and
and file
apples. Apples
No,
and
if you are
apples.
so hurt, why haven't the police take action? Ask the police.
Why isn't your police taking
Why was
action?
Tejinder Barga?
You
Why
don't
was
think that
Tejinder
Hindus will
Barga?
get hurt? You
Why
don't
was
think that
Tejinder
cartoon is
Barga
hurtful?
taken from transit remand?
For somebody who wants
Why?
hurt, hanging, arrest, what have you against Nupur Sharma, just by the way, sir, let me just ask you the simplest question. Okay, let's down to the basics now. Tell me, since we keep going back to this again and again, simply Sushil Pandit, tell me this, that Nupur Sharma's lack of arrest, let's keep in mind, she's been sacked, she's been suspended, she's been booked, she's apologized. Now it is, let her be arrested. You have Imtiaz Jaleel, a member of parliament, for heaven's sake, saying, hang her. For what? For what? Because the mob is asking for it? Tomorrow they'll say, hang Sushil Pandit. Tomorrow Riju Datta, they'll say, hang Riju Datta. Because this is not going to stop. It is not about the law, sir. You can snap out of it. You think this is about the law? This is about mob justice. Nupur Sharma should be arrested because the mob says so. Nupur Sharma should be hanged because the mob says so. Let me just inform you that the offences she has been booked under invite a sentence of the maximum of 3 years. She has been questioned. She has been summoned for questioning. When the date comes, she will go. But you don't believe in that. You are like, to hell with questioning. Arrest her. Imtiaz Jaleel says, hang her. Because the basic issue here is, and let's not be fools to ignore it, what Mr. Jaleel is suggesting is not even the IPC. In case none of us have realized, what Mr. Jaleel is advocating is Islamic law, where without trial he's saying, hang this woman. For what? Sushil Pandit?
Padmaja, you should excuse them for believing that India is a Sharia republic, that we are not a democratic secular republic. We are governed by Nizam-e-Mustafa, governed by Sharia law. This is what they have come to believe. Feeling hurt by a few words
and calling for somebody's head. But when people are killed in the name of their faith in Kashmir, not a single Kashmiri out of lakhs living in rest of the country are touched. Don't we have right to feel hurt? Don't we have a right to seek retaliation? Do we retaliate? Do we go back?
Now.
Who is this? Who is this jihadi ranting in the background?
Okay, I request you, please let's not make this personal. As it is, things are bad enough, this will get derailed. This was Riju Datta reacting to what you said. Let Sushil Pandit complete, then I'll give you full time to react. Riju Datta. Go on, Mr. Pandit. No personal comments, please. Yes.
Thank you, Padmaja. The problem is because you have given in to a bully, because you have given in to bullying, you're paying a ransom through the scalp of Nupur Sharma. You have whetted the appetite of this bully. You have actually given this bully a steroid shot in the arm. What we are seeing unfolding in the rest of the country is primarily because we paid a ransom to a twit of a country in order to seek their approval, in order to pacify them. This is what we are paying the price with. When countries do not stand up to the decisions, to their system, to their law, when they try and appease bullies, the bullies come and ride them. This is what is happening to us. The only thing that will work today in the street is read the Riot Act and let the people face costs and consequences.
And before you read the Riot Act, acknowledge the problem. Before you respond to that, Riju Datta, I want to play out for you. You've had vandalizing of BJP offices, that's one part. You've had the police being attacked, that's the second. But take a look at the impunity with which today people actually came out and flung crude bombs. Take a look at this. So Riju Datta, if you do not acknowledge that these people who are flinging crude bombs are radicals who are doing it not because of any hurt. This is not about Nupur Sharma. It is because they can get away with it. You'll start riding a tiger. That is what this situation is.
First of all, the people who are pelting stones and throwing crude bombs, they are criminals. They will be brought to book, irrespective of their religion. Number one, to answer your question. Number two, nobody will be spared for hurling crude bombs and pelting stones at the police. Sorry, they won't be spared in Bengal. And to Mr. Sushil Pandit, who before even knowing my name called me a jihadi, let me ask you, sir, the atrocities the Kashmiri Pandits faced 20 years ago and now in 2022, after the targeted killings of Kashmiri Pandits have started again and the Hindus have started again, and by the way, my religion is Hindu, and the Kashmiri Pandits are locked in their house, they are again forced to flee Kashmir, and they are lathi charged by the Lieutenant Governor of Kashmir, who is a union territory under the government of India. Why don't you criticize the government, sir? Why don't you criticize the BJP for using Kashmiri Pandits as a propaganda, sir?
Keep your ears and eyes open. Keep your ears and eyes open, and if you have an open mind too, you will see what I have done to the government on this issue. Unless you choose not to see.
So let's be very clear. Lathi charging of Kashmiri Pandits is unforgivable. But since you brought up Kashmiri Pandits, your whole argument of hurt feelings and action reaction, then you should have Sushil Pandit going back to Kashmir with his 3 decades of hurt, Riju Datta. What do you think Sushil Pandit should do? With his 3 decades of hurt religious feelings and physically hurt feelings.
I will straight away say this. The people who were responsible for the atrocities committed on the Kashmiri Pandits, those people who was rewarded by the then central government should be brought to book and hanged.
So let me just ask you one final question before I open it up. Riju Datta, yesterday there was a chakka jam in the center of Kolkata by people who burned tires. Mamata Banerjee said, I am very sad that you are being provoked into doing this, but don't do it here, go to Delhi and do it. How many of those people have been booked and arrested?
What happened yesterday, again I will straight away say this. When people's faith are being hurt...
How many people have been arrested? You said anyone who takes the law in their hands will be acted against. How many have you arrested from yesterday?
They burnt tires on the road. They did not destroy property. They did not pelt stones. They did not attack police people.
Okay.
First, look at yourself. First, BJP should arrest these foul-mouthed spokespersons. Why is there not a BJP spokesperson on your channel, Padmaja? Because they have stopped their spokespersons coming on national channels. This is the reason.
You still haven't answered my question. Now let me open it up. Hamza Masood, we've gone on and on and on about hurt feelings. How does hurt feeling and which part of our constitution and IPC allow for beheading calls? Which part?
First of all, ma'am, I would like to say one thing. You are talking like a BJP spokesperson right now. You are not questioning the BJP side or the other right-wing side. You are just questioning us. First of all, I would like to condemn for what has happened. It is unfortunate. Violence is not the answer. We do not support any kind of violence. We believe in rule of law, and I am sure that rule of law will prevail and Nupur Sharma will be sagged. Secondly, madam, what is happening right now in this country, I think it is your channel and channels in Noida are responsible for it, are responsible for the hate that is being swung inside minds of people right now in India.
How?
मैंने अभी पिछले चैनल पे भी कहा था मैं
Nonsense.
ज्यादा लश्कर नोएडा से खतरा है कि आप लोग
Padmaja, is the
No,
Noida media
hold on. Let
supplying
him
the people
speak. Let
with
him
stones?
speak.
Ask him.
No, Tushar Gupta, do not interrupt him. Let Hamza speak. Go on, Hamza. Tell me. Yes.
I will speak.
Go on.
Yes, ma'am. आप लोग रिलीजियस स्कॉलर्स को बुलाते हैं, यहाँ बुलाकर उनकी डिबेट करवाते हैं, उनमें लड़ाई करवाते हैं, उसकी वजह से नफरत फैलती है और यही नफरत फैलाई जा रही है। यही उसी दिन हुआ जिस दिन आपके चैनल के ऊपर नूपुर शर्मा जैसे को बुलाया गया, दो लोगों के बीच में झगड़ा कराया गया और फिर उसके बाद ये पूरा माहौल देश के अंदर बना है।
तो मेरे को ये बताइए हमजा, मेरे को ये बताइए कि अगर होल्ड ऑन अ सेकंड, मेरे को ये बताइए कि अगर हमारी डिबेट की वजह से जहां पे कुछ लोग आते हैं जिनको आपने सर्टिफिकेट दे दिया है कि वो नकली मुसलमान है या फिर वो रिप्रेजेंटेटिव नहीं है, उसकी वजह से अगर नफरत फैल रही है, तो आप और कई आपके जो कॉमरेड्स हैं वो यति नरसिंहानंद का वीडियो फैलाते हैं ये कह के कि दिस इज द न्यू इंडिया अंडर मोदी। वो कौन सी नफरत फैलाते हैं हमजा? वो नफरत नहीं फैला रहे। नुपुर शर्मा हमारे डिबेट पे बोलती है तो देश में नफरत फैलती है, और आप जब यति नरसिंहानंद का वीडियो सर्कुलेट करते हैं एज रिप्रेजेंटेटिव ऑफ इंडिया, आप कौन सी नफरत बोलते हैं? और आप कैसे सर्टिफाई कर रहे हैं कि जो लोग टीवी पे आते हैं दे आर नॉट रिप्रेजेंटेटिव, बट
स्पीकिंग एवरीथिंग इन फ्रंट ऑफ पीपल, ही इज सेइंग एवरीथिंग इन
so are the people who are coming on TV, so are the Islamic scholars who are coming on TV, they are saying in front of everyone, Hamza. And even if, chalo, I will give you, people who come on TV do not speak for all Muslims. Did that cleric who spoke in Bhadarwa speak for Muslims? Just a second, Tushar Gupta, just a second. Let Hamza speak. Go on. So you are saying TV debates are responsible for hate, but when you circulate Yati Narsinghanand, you are celebrating inclusiveness and the spirit of India. You are the one who creates division, sir. You create division because you make people feel that one nut job sitting in some Dasna Mandir is representative of India. Yati Narsinghanand doesn't speak for more than 10 people. Yati Narsinghanand is a noble. He is a criminal and frankly he is politically motivated. How do you decide that Yati Narsinghanand speaks for all of India? And when you circulate his videos, how are you not spreading hate?
एजुकेशन के बारे में बात करी है आपने, हमें कितनी बार बुलाकर हमारी एजुकेशन के बारे में बात करी?
आप यति नरसिंहानंद का ही क्यों वीडियो वायरल करते हैं? आप जो लोग अच्छी अच्छी बातें करते हैं उनका वीडियो क्यों नहीं वायरल करते? आपके सारे आपके जो आर्ग्यूमेंट्स हैं, आई हैव अ काउंटर फॉर यू। आप इंडिया में बढ़ती फीमेल लिटरेसी के सर्कुलेट क्यों नहीं करते आंकड़े? आप क्यों विष्णु गुप्ता हिंदू सेना के वीडियो सर्कुलेट करते हैं? क्योंकि आप डिवीजन करना चाहते हैं। यू आर द वन स्प्रेडिंग हेट।
के बारे में बात करिए, एजुकेशन के बारे में बात
करिए। अब आप एजुकेशन पे आ गए क्यों? अभी तो आप कह रहे थे, सो एक सेकेंड, लेट मी ट्राई एंड अंडरस्टैंड दिस हमजा, लेट्स थ्रैश दिस आउट। सो नाउ यू आर सेइंग दैट टीवी डिबेट्स स्प्रेड हेट, राइट? Explain to me exactly how a TV debate motivated people in 6 different cities today to ask for the beheading of Nupur Sharma. Answer me.
देखिए, I am not supporting any beheading, first of all.
Arey, answer the question na. If I am creating the hate, then I want to know how what I have said has forced somebody to ask for Nupur Sharma to be beheaded. Now answer this. Answer it.
Yes, I am answering it. Yes, I am answering it.
Answer it.
It is because of your channel. It is because of your channel that this topic has come out.
नहीं, Hamza,
Sir, I am talking to Padmaja ji. I am not going to be in a debate.
Okay, so this topic has come up. This topic has come up. So the natural reaction is you ask for a beheading.
No, sir. No, ma'am. Nobody is supporting beheading. Nobody is supporting.
But you are not answering me. What is the reason behind these calls for beheading? Answer the question. You can keep dancing around the issue, but you haven't answered the question. What is the reason behind the calls for beheading? What is the thought behind the call for beheading? What is the ideology behind the call for beheading? Answer the question, Hamza.
किसी भी तरीके के नफरत फैलाने वाले लोगों को गिरफ्तार करिए, चाहे वो हिंदू हो चाहे मुसलमान हो। किसी भी धार्मिक भावनाओं का आउट नहीं होंगे। चाहे श्री राम के खिलाफ अगर कुछ बोला जाएगा, पैगंबर साहब के बारे में कुछ बोला जाएगा, सबके ऊपर इक्वल एक्शन लीजिए।
चलिए, तुषार गुप्ता, नाउ आंसर।
हमजा एक बात बताइए, हमजा एक बात बताइए, आपने जो भी कहा कि जो भी नफरत फैलाए उनको अरेस्ट करिए, बिल्कुल सही बात है। क्या महुआ मित्रा को शिवलिंग का मजाक उड़ाने के लिए अरेस्ट करना चाहिए, हाँ या ना?
देखिए तो आप लोग जानते हैं पॉलिटिकल मामले में।
सिंपल जवाब दीजिए, हाँ या ना?
नुपुर शर्मा क्या नफरत फैलाई?
हाँ या ना? हाँ या ना?
नो
हाँ या ना?
उन्होंने
शिवलिंग को न्यूक्लियर रिएक्टर से कंपेयर किया, क्यों नहीं?
देखिए वो तो आपकी सरकार ने एक्शन ली है।
अगर महुआ मित्रा शिवलिंग का मजाक उड़ा सकती है, नहीं क्यों?
एक सेकंड,
आप बताइए अरेस्ट होना चाहिए या नहीं, हाँ या ना? क्या महुआ मित्रा को अरेस्ट होना चाहिए, हाँ या ना? सरकार मेरी नहीं
आप जाके सरकार से पूछिए,
आप बताइए।
आप सरकार से पूछिए, मैं क्या बोलूं?
क्या उन्होंने नफरत फैलाई?
अगर गलत होंगी तो
नफरत फैलाई, हाँ या ना? आपसे पूछ रहा हूं मैं। हमजा जी, आप
ऑडियो इज नॉट अवेलेबल।
हमजा जी बात पता है क्या है? नहीं हमजा जी मैं बताता हूँ बात क्या है। हमजा जी बात मैं आपको बताता हूँ क्या है। आप यहाँ पर बैठ के लेक्चर करते हैं कि टीवी डिबेट्स ऐसे होने चाहिए, टीवी पर ये बात होनी चाहिए, रिलीजियस कॉलेज नहीं आने चाहिए, नुपुर शर्मा को
मेरे लिए।
पर जब मैं आपसे पूछता हूँ,
भगवान राम,
जब मैं आपसे
मेरे लिए
कि महुआ मित्रा को अरेस्ट होना चाहिए नहीं, तब आप कहते हैं सरकार देखे। अगर आप नुपुर शर्मा के अरेस्ट की बात करते हैं
की इज्जत
तो
करता
महुआ
हूँ।
मित्रा के अरेस्ट की
मेरा
बात
मजहब मुझे सिखाता है कि धर्मों की इज्जत करना।
चलेंगे
मेरा मजहब मुझे सिखाता है सभी की इज्जत करना।
हमजा जी अगर आपकी बात,
मेरा मजहब मुझे सबकी इज्जत करना सिखाता है, मुझे आगे किसी कोई बात पता ही नहीं है।
बिल्कुल सही है, आप हर धर्म की इज्जत करते हैं, बिल्कुल बहुत सही बात, बिल्कुल सही बात। अगर नुपुर शर्मा को अरेस्ट करना सही है तो क्या महुआ मित्रा को भी अरेस्ट करना सही है?
करिए आप करिए ना, आप करिए अरेस्ट, किसने रोका है?
Okay, great. Let Riju Datta respond. Riju Datta, go on. Here is a demand from Hamza Masood. Will you oblige?
Am I the judiciary or am I the cops?
You are the government in West Bengal.
No,
she belongs to your state.
I am not.
Let him come and file a complaint to the government.
You should file it suo moto. You filed a complaint against a blogger for insulting your chief minister. You don't want to file a complaint against a lady who has insulted religious sentiments? What happened, Riju Datta?
What religious? Whose religious sentiments?
You get
whose
hurt.
Religious sentiments?
I don't
whose
think,
religious sentiments?
you don't think religious sentiments are
Hamza's
hurt?
religious sentiments. Hamza's religious sentiments.
Tushar Gupta's religious sentiments. You don't want to take suo moto cognizance?
My sentiments are hurt.
You hurt my
sentiments are hurt.
Padmaja Joshi, come and file a complaint.
Sushil Pandit's sentiments are hurt. You didn't wait for Mamta Banerjee to file a complaint, Riju Datta. You went and filed a complaint against a blogger because he wrote against your chief minister. That man was dragged by the scruff of his neck from Goa to Bengal. Now you don't think you want to file a complaint for religious sentiments being hurt of Hindus? Why? Because Mamta Banerjee, an insult to her is more than an insult to Hindu sentiments.
I don't have a problem with this.
You don't have a problem? You don't have a problem. Okay, just a second. Let's get this clear. You don't have a problem with that joke, Riju Datta. It's fine.
No, I don't see any really when the religious sentiments are hurt. She has not compared it to anything untoward or bad or anything, something demeaning to our God.
Exactly. This is the
What is this? What is this? This is not hypocrisy. It is called having a sense. I am not brainwashed like you.
Hypocrisy.
I am not brainwashed
like you. This is the hypocrisy. This is what the world should see.
Muslim ko gali
This is what the world should see. That TMC is a hypocrite party.
Out of control, and that is what this country is burning now.
Good. I am glad. I am glad. I think people who are watching right now, they are the best judges. Sushil Pandit, you want to quickly comment on this? We're quite clear there's nothing problematic. So we are all in agreement. Sushil Pandit.
Padmaja, one point.
Padmaja, we are living in a time where people speak from both ends of their mouths, and they have perfected this art. This is called hypocrisy. What you've seen just now are double standards of the worst kind. I just mentioned it's not just the hurt sentiment. We have got people killed for their faith. Should there be retaliation across the country for those murders? Should I say that my community is being targeted, so I'll target the other community? Will I go start on a revenge spree? Because we do not believe in this uncivilized mob justice on the street, that we need to remind these rioters we live in a democratic secular republic which is run by a constitution.
When they lynch the clerk in their house
by mob justice, they think lynch mobs will decide who will live and who will not.
Sir, when Akhlaq was lynched and anyone who defended it, there was nobody on the streets asking for those murderers to be released. Those people are in jail as they should be. As they should be.
What happened to Sadhvi Pragya? You elected Sadhvi Pragya to the parliament.
Left, right and center.
A terrorist accused person was elected to the parliament, madam, in this country.
Okay, first of all, we are comparing. I have not elected Sadhvi Pragya. If somebody has elected them and you hold it against them, by all you go and file cases against all of the people who gave a vote to Sadhvi Pragya. I hold absolutely no brief for her. That is point number one. Sir, it is very easy to make a personal comment when at the end of the day आप बोलिए सर, आप बोलिए मीडिया को बोलिए नफरत का बीज, आप बोल लीजिए भाजपा प्रवक्ता, कोई बात नहीं. But the television is a very transparent medium, and in the last 34 minutes you still haven't stopped to say कि नफरत वो फैला रहे हैं जिनके हाथ में पत्थर है. I think it becomes amply clear. I want to now come to you, Khaliqur Rahman, because you come from Telangana. Today, just a second, Tushar Gupta. Today, in the name of a democratic protest, the tricolor of our country was replaced, the Ashoka Chakra was replaced with a kalma. What is this protest? And we are still made to believe that this is about Nupur Sharma. This is about religious supremacy. This has turned into a battle for supremacy, sir. What business did a protest against Nupur Sharma have to have our tricolor, India's tricolor? It is not Nupur Sharma's tricolor. It is not Khaliqur Rahman's tricolor. India's tricolor was replaced by this kalma. Tell me, how is this related to Nupur Sharma? Tell me.
Our national flag has been defiled.
One thing I want you to assure me that you or any of the panelists are not going to interrupt while I'm going to talk, because otherwise what will happen is, because while I'll be saying half of the thing, then there'll be an interruption, then I'll not be able to complete my point.
Go on,
First of all, first of all, we all are Indians, we all are peace-loving citizens, and we want peace in the country, and we all coexist. And we live as brothers and sisters in India. And for us, when we are here and on this channel, especially in a super prime time, we have come as an Indian. I have not come as the Muslim, or Mr. Riju has not come as a Hindu. You are not. So we are all Indians here first. So I think this is very important for all of us to understand. And I have been, in fact, the debate going on for the last 35 minutes. So I think it was nothing but a sheer waste of time, because no one was, trying to come to the point straight. They were rather trying to, beat around the bushes actually. So now we have to actually condemn the violence, and everyone, be it Hindu or be it Muslim, we as Indian have got the right as per the constitution to demonstrate and have a peaceful demonstration, and we should not have any kind of violence. The moment it turns into violence, then it becomes a criminal act. And coming to this flag, this is highly condemnable, and this is something really shocking, and I really don't know what kind of mentality, and who are the people behind this, in fact, because this matter will be investigated into and they will not be spared. Let me tell you, because this is not something which I as an Indian or we as an Indian would approve or appreciate this, because all of us have to conduct.
Obviously everyone knows nobody is going to appreciate. My question to you was different, sir. What does putting a kalma on the Indian tricolor have to do with Nupur Sharma? If we are to believe this protest is about Nupur Sharma, why was a kalma put on the Indian tricolor? That is my question.
That is what I told you, because this matter will be investigated and has to be investigated, and we have to see who are the people behind this actually. And let me tell you, because it all started on 27th from this very channel, and had the action.
You haven't answered my question. I didn't ask you for a background to the controversy. I am again asking you that if you are still saying, my point is simple. Sir, my point is simple. These protests had got nothing to do with Nupur Sharma. Nupur Sharma was used as an excuse largely. The point was very different.
No.
And I am illustrating that by showing this flag. And I am asking you, if you still insist that this is about Nupur Sharma, tell me what this flag has to do with Nupur Sharma. That's my question.
Actually,
what does putting a kalma on a tricolor have to do with Nupur Sharma? Period.
Padmaja,
That's my question.
Padmaja, that is what I told you, because it all started on 27. It is all about Nupur Sharma. But as far this tricolor flag is concerned,
You haven't told me how.
which the kalma is written. When this kalma is written on this, who are the people behind this and who has hatched this conspiracy?
These are people who came out after Friday press. What is the mystery?
We have
Sushil
to
Pandit.
investigate the matter. And this is something really, I would call...
Sushil Pandit.
This is not something in hiding. It is in full public glare. It has been caught on camera. There are people waving this flag. What takes you so much time to identify and book? What takes you so much time in order to figure out who's done it and why? What is the prevarication all about? This wasn't done in secrecy. It is being done in public and it is waved in your face. It is waved in your face and my face. This is desecration of a national emblem. This is insult to national flag. This is defiling a national emblem. Why have you done
Very simple.
And why have you
The
allowed
idea of putting it all out in terms of clear visuals before you is to help you decide. We are being told that this violence was sparked by one person and her comments. What followed today didn't even have the remotest relation to that person. This can be a law and order issue. It can be treated as a crime. But for the actual solution to happen, the problem has to be identified and accepted. And going by all the reactions that you've seen so far, do you think that anyone's willing to acknowledge the problem? I'll leave that for you to decide. Thanks very much, gentlemen, for joining me.